did, but heads up, Ulfgar, you are hasted now.
You hasted.
Yeah.
Hasted?
He's hasted.
You got haste.
Yeah. We read. So welcome back. We've retroactively respect the haste that Eulogy had cast on Virgil because Virgil's not going to be able to participate tonight. So that has been retconned over to Ulfgar. Otherwise, so you guys are going to be down. We're going to be missing Virgil and Sagan for tonight's session, but that's okay. You guys will, I'm sure, do just fine. And to catch back up, you all had met Anaji Golden Tusk, the Loxodon Druid, a new acquaintance of Shibello's, although an individual that he's been eager to meet for some time now. And Anaji has sort of pledged his aid in your cause to further alleviate the magical blight that has been afflicting the southern Verduran forest on the borderlands with the Tandak province, where you all have generally been based in Sonatron. And as a condition for his assistance, he has asked a small favor of you all in return. That favor being to ascend one of the mountain tops here on the Isle of Erinway, one of the low mountain peaks that is surprisingly cold, despite its relatively low altitude. And the task at hand being to recover a staff, Anaji's staff that has been taken from him, and he believes taken by the brittle maiden Arariel Ihwiriel, and so you all have accompanied him up the mountainside. And your first attempts to persuade Arariel in her owl-like form, when she revealed herself from behind one of the standing stones at the top of the mountain, didn't go so well, and you have found yourselves embroiled in a bit of a melee, a magical melee, back and forth between Arariel, briefly her awakened owl servant that now lies in the snowy dirt right behind Oliander. Anyway,
Let's go.
Yeah. We pick back up in the middle of that combat. At the top of the new round, which will see the turn pass to Arariel. Or at least the owl-like creature that has presented itself, and from where it stands across the standing stones from you all, in between you all, the frost salamander lying with its neck half blasted apart. This owl individual is going to look out at you all, and her female voice intones in your heads. You think you know the means to bring about my servant's demise? You know not what you have stepped into. And with that, she lets loose a flurry of two. She sort of holds up both of her long black taloned hands, and in each of her palms appear these sort of glowing, crackling orbs of energy, and the first one she hurls across the ring of standing stones. Now, mind you, you may have noticed that the standing stones themselves have these open holes at their tops, and she hurls one of these orbs into the open top of one of the standing stones directly opposite where she stands, and as that orb flies into the opening there, it's almost like you all hear this like, and as the orb gets sucked into this space at the top of the stone, it's almost like a rift of cold wind. Wind begins to kind of shoot out in either direction from that open hole, and in the middle of it, you see 3 motes of brilliant, bright blue light begin to shine. And she takes the second orb in her left clawed hand, and she does the same thing, hurling the second one at the standing stone directly above Oleander's head. And so those lights begin to shine.
So you said it was 3 motes of blue energy left to shine.
Yes, in that sort of open space above each one.
And then, like, what are they, like, you said it's kind of like the burst of wind? Are they, like, giving off, like, energy, or?
Yeah, it's almost like a what is the name of that sort of pulsar? It's almost like a pulsar star that kind of shoots out matter in sort of cones away from its center. It's kind of like that, but on a much smaller scale. And what it is firing out of either end of the standing stone's openings is cold, frigid air. Even in the cold mountain air where you guys are, it's sort of obvious that the air shooting forth from whatever rifts she's torn in each of these standing stones' apex, that air is even colder.
And so where is it coming out of? You said it's coming out of the stone?
The apex of the stones, immediately in front of all of you, right? So there's the 2 stones directly there in front of you, and that's where it's coming from.
Cool.
All right. So she does that, and then Shibello, that's going to turn it to you, my friend, at the end of her turn.
Shibello is going to hoist his arm up and aiming it towards the owl creature and blast off one of his guiding bolts. She's got the fairy fire on her still, right?
That's correct. Yes, your fairy fighter is still active, so you get to roll with advantage.
That's Oleander's. I don't want to take credit from him.
Oh yeah, that is your turn. You were the caster of fairy fighter. He was just confirming it was still on.
All right. 20 hit.
Yes, it does. Her AC is 14, I think.
Oh, all right. For boom, 13 points. Radiant damage.
Of radiant damage. Okay. So 13 points of radiant damage. All right. So so your guiding bolt fires forth from this starry archer constellation symbol on your arm, and as it does, it strikes this owl creature right in where sort of the clavicle would be, the upper chest, and the mote of light lodges itself in there, and you see as the burning radiance of the mote of light begins to sort of melt away the feathered flesh and red and blue robes adorning this owl creature.
All right. Cool. And then...
And as actually, as that happens, this owl form that you see standing across the rock from you, Shibello, it sort of looks down at this glowing moat, and it lets out what to you all is the first audible sound that it seems to have made, as opposed to telepathic voice, and you hear like an owl-like, bird-like sort of cry of pain as the moat sears into its chest, and its form, its whole body begins to just turn to slush, piece by piece, right? The head begins to collapse in on itself, and the arms begin to just like slush away and slough off of her body, and basically her whole form begins to just melt away from on top of the slab, and there's watery there's melt water that kind of runs down the standing stone that then quickly freezes again. But the owl creature, as you were regarding it, is done away with.
All right. And all right. So, and these things up here, I see they kind of have tokens. Are they like? Do they have like a physical form? So they have like a physical form that we could like one could target.
Yeah. So there's these three motes of light that have, you see now in the midst of those rifts. Now that you're sort of looking directly at them, you see sort of shards and chunks of what to you looks like ice that sort of start to float around these orbs.
All right, Shibello's gonna move down. Oh, the game's paused.
Oh, my bad.
Shibello's gonna move down here, and then he's gonna use his bonus action, targeting one of the ice motes to shoot it with a starry bolt. Ba-bow.
All right. So go ahead and... Oh, you already did? And with
Yep.
25, a 25 is going to hit your target there in the top. And so your starry bolt flies up and seems to disappear into the rift that you just fired your starry bolt into.
Shit.
Not obvious to you that it had any effect whatsoever.
All right. And that'll be the end of Shibello's turn.
All right. So then at the end of Shibello's turn, you all will hear once again this telepathic voice in your heads that says, "Well, formidable ones you must feel for defeating my crone. But it will take more than that to wrest the staff of Anaji from my cold hands. Come, if you will." All right, and that'll be, so that's at the end of Shibello's turn. That'll toss it over to Oliander. Eulogy, you're on deck.
The large owl at my feet, is it still breathing? Is it unconscious, or is it...
Yeah, so it's this like giant owl that's plummeted to the ground, and you see that it's lying there, kind of like really incapacitated, breathing heavily, and it's pretty easy for you to tell where its sort of fragile bird, owl rib cage has been like shattered in from where it got hit by Ulfgar's throwing hammer.
All right. Oleander will take the Dusk of the Thorn Rose from his Thorn of the Dusk Rose from from his side, and he will gently kind of pet the owl and just say, I know you're just doing your job. I'm so sorry you had to go through this. And will cast Spare the Dying. So there's sort of like a faint glow that originates from the thorn. It kind of encompasses the owl's body as slight mends begin to work their way in there. I was kind of sadly like, sorry. And then I will use my movement to run. How do you make it show the arrow while you're
You can hold down the control, I think, and then move. Before you move, Oliander, I think I just need a Constitution saving throw from you. This is something supposed to be at the start of your turn, so a 5 is not going to save, unfortunately. And the cold aura, or the cold, the frigid cold being expelled from that the standing stone immediately next to you, you sort of feel the frigid aura kind of wash over you, and you take 4 points of cold damage from it. All right, but anyways, continue with your turn. Sorry.
All right. I will move away. 15. Another 15. Good. Another 15.
You hold it down and then hit space.
And is the lizard thing still there at all? Like, is it any signs of life?
Oh, it's definitely there, but it's badly injured. Like it's sort of reared up its head from where it had been basically coiled up on itself and sleeping like a cat, to where now it had sort of reared up its head and then got pelted right in its thick neck with the motes of light from Sagan's ring, and now it's like a large chunk of the left side of its neck is just melted away.
I will look at it kind of disgustedly, and then use my bonus action to dash.
All right.
Slightly away, you can still win. Oh no, I don't want to do that.
All right.
And I'll shout out, I see some stairs this way. Hurry.
All right. Then at the end of your turn, Oliander, as you're looking at the stairs in front of you, you turn to your friends to inform them that that you see the stairs over there, and then when you turn your eyes back in that direction, you see a form, a humanoid-esque form, standing in the entryway. And that humanoid form, it sort of looks like a 10-foot tall woman with this fearsome aspect and look on her face, and she is made entirely of ice and frost. Her eyes seem to burn, if they could, with a cold blue light, and there's this thin cloak of mist that forms lightly around her. And as you say this, she and turn back and you see her, you hear once again in your head specifically, "Come." And then she there's this like swirling of the mist around her, and she almost like just dissipates away in the mist, and you see her dissipate away. All right. So Oliander, that's your turn. Eulogy, you're up.
All right. So Eulogy, on his bass lute, is still playing away, plucking real fast, and sort of like, I don't know what, like some sort of cool Metallica bass solo. and is encouraging Ulfgar with that music, and is going to take a step forward, I guess through the tough terrain. So he'll use his move action, continue to strum along, and as he steps out of that thick snow, he lands on one note that he holds on to and lets it ring out, pulls his wand, and then he's going to say, here's Regathio! And he's going to cast Firebolt at the salamander thing.
Okay. Ooh, with a 19, your bolt flies true.
Bam. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
Okay. Fire.
D10. All right. So 12 points of fire damage. Oops. All right. So your firebolt shoots forth and slams into the right kind of fore shoulder of the salamander before you, and you hear a sizzling as its shoulder haunch is kind of seared and blasted, and it turns in your direction, Eulogy, and it gives a.
And Eulogy, with that one note still hanging in the air, he's going to return the same exact hiss back at it, and then he will turn to Ulfgar and say, finish him off, you can do it! And he goes back into the Hastings stuff, and he's going to give Ulfgar Bardic Inspiration, unless he already has it.
Ulfgar gets Bardic
No, I don't think so.
Inspiration.
All right, so Ulfgar has Bardic Inspiration. Finish him off!
And it's a D8 for you, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so then, from the ice rift in the southern stone there, you all see these 3 motes of bluish light kind of emerge out from the rift. It's almost like they're kicked out, like, and they're floating up in the air about 10 or so feet up, and you see these crystals sort of oscillate around as they stabilize themselves from having been kicked out of the rift, and then all three of the orbs begin to sort of coalesce their companion ice crystals sort of on one side, and then you see almost like a lighthouse beacon. It starts to turn in each direction, and I think Shibello. Oh no, Eulogy. I think you are the closest. You and Ulfgar are about equidistant from this thing, so it's going to turn and lock on Eulogy, and as it does, it is going to shoot forward at him. Although I don't think it will make it all the way to you, which is probably a good thing. All right, so it gets about there, and yeah, because I think it needs to be within 5 feet. All right, good for you. Yes. All right. So it sort of flies in your direction, and Eulogy. It's tough to tell exactly what these things are doing as they zoom in your direction, but they zoom nonetheless.
All right. Eulogy will twang slightly on the riff that he's playing in fear, and he's gonna yell out and be like, Leander, there's more! And that's it.
All right. Okay, so then that will be a turn, and then that will turn it to the Frost Salamander. Ulfgar, you are on deck, and the Frost Salamander on its turn It's like badly burned up. It's pretty heavily wounded, and you see it turn and hop off of the stone slab here, and you see it just start to like use its two forearms, one that's still usable even though it's on that sort of limp side of its neck, and it's clawing at the ground here in a way that is kicking up a surprising amount of dirt, and you see it begin to tunnel into the pretty hard packed dirt and ice, and it submerges itself below the surface, and the dirt behind it sort of goes in and fills in behind it as it does.
Motherfucker.
Well.
All right. So then that will be a turn. And that'll turn it over to Ulfgar. Anaji's on deck. Ulfgar, what do you do?
Well, with the disappearance of any, with the disappearance of any, like, major threats other than these ice balls, Ulfgar is going to go ahead and dash. And then he will go ahead and dash again since he's hasty.
So Ulfgar's dashing up closer to closer to Oliander. Okay. All right.
And
Okay, so Ulfgar goes dashing. All right, and then Anaji on his turn, he's going to turn to
Dashing through the snow.
Yeah, he's going to turn to.
I like that.
That's a good one.
He's going to turn to Eulogy and Shibello, and he's going to say, "I think your friends had the right of it. Into the cave." And he is also going to start making his way over there. Let me see if he's going to do anything before he does. I don't think he is. No, I think he's going to... Actually, he is going to use his... So he's gonna lift his hand up in the direction of the three ice crystals, sort of hovering their way toward Eulogy quickly, and he's gonna say, "But not before I make these taste the sacred flame of Gazra." And he requires a DC 15 saving throw from them. Ooh, wow, what a good saving throw. Okay, so no benefit. So see. Okay, so they actually avoid all damage from his spell, but you do see this like flame-like radiance that like bursts, but then is quickly sort of like overtaken by the cold aura surrounding these shards, and then he's gonna sort of raise his eyebrows or his brow, and he's gonna say, "Right then, off this way." And he's gonna start to head in this direction. He's got 30 feet of movement, so he's gonna do there. All right. And right as he does is when a second set of ice crystals fire out of the rift at the top of their standing stone, and the nearest warm-blooded life form to that one is actually going to be Anaji. And so this spirit is going to go right in his direction. As it does, it's going to try and envelop him. Basically, like the crystals start to just like wrap around him and fly all about his form with a 21 to hit. They do successfully deal 19 points of cold damage. And so Anaji's going to take those 19 points. All right. But that will be their turn. Yep. Okay. Yeah, he's cast 2 spells.
Shibello.
He just cast his spell just failed. There was a saving throw and failed. And that's going to turn it to Shibello. Oliander, you're on deck.
So question, Dios. Mounting my broom and doing like that, what would that kind of be? Would that be part of like a movement action, or?
I would say that probably takes... I think that takes an action to use the object.
I thought you could use an object. I thought that was a free action, actually.
No.
Is that wrong?
No, that's not, it takes an action to use an object.
Alright, never mind then. I was just gonna walk on, start heading this way. Oh, that's not what he meant to do. Alright. And he's gonna kind of call out to Oliander and Ulfgar, saying, "We still gotta deal with these spirit things. They're hurting everyone over here." And then he's gonna try something a little different, sort of, but not really. As he produces a little fireball.
Okay.
And he's gonna shoot at the ice thing, hoping that it doesn't like fire.
All right.
Which,
Which
would
one
make
are
sense.
you firing at? And you said you're using produce.
The one closest to me.
All right, the one closest to you. Okay, so you conjure. How do you want to describe it, or?
And he just kind of spins his hand around, like his wrist around, and a ball kind of begins to produce as he then hurls it, just like a pitcher throwing a baseball, towards the ice spirit.
And that baseball, when you cast it out from your palm and hurl it in the direction of the ice crystals, that it flies wide and it's almost like you can see its arc kind of disturbed and thrown outward from the crystals as it cut through the air.
Alright, and even though this didn't work last time, maybe now that they're out of the little things, it'll work this time, as he shoots off a bolt of radiant energy with his starry form.
Alright. 24 is definitely going to hit, so go ahead and roll damage.
Damage!
Nice.
Woo!
Alright. And that's radiant damage, yeah?
Yes.
Radiant damage it is. So that's 12 points. Nice. Okay. Anything else on Shibello's turn?
Nope, that'll be the end of Shibello's turn.
Alright. Oliander, that'll take it to you. Eulogy, you're on deck.
I don't have any fancy fire magics, but I do have a very cool crossbow. So I will. So when you said that the one next to Naji was like wrapped up around him, is that just flavor or is it actually
It's not occupying his space. It like momentarily like flourished and like fluttered around him, but the three floating orbs and crystals have since sort of reconglomerated on that side of it.
So I can fire it at that.
Yeah.
So I will pull out my crossbow and I will take aim and fire a shot.
Oh, it's dumb. Oh.
Nat 20.
You fool.
Ooh.
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 All right. Well, yeah. Go ahead
Oh.
and roll your critical damage.
If I lost to Shibello, that would have been on the next one. Alright.
Jesus. Nice.
All right. I'm seeing a total of 46. Am I adding that up correctly? Sneak attack plus piercing critical plus sneak attack critical. Yeah. I see 48 points.
What is the?
Isn't that 50?
There's a 28 and a 22.
What did I say?
Yeah, isn't that 50?
50. Oh, I meant. Sorry. Yeah. My bad.
Alright,
50
I started
points.
out, and you know what? Just because it's a crit, it's like in that one movie where I curved the bolt.
Nice.
All right.
There were no corners to get around. I did it anyway, just laying.
I looked around that other rock over there just to show off.
All right. So you watch as your bolt flies through and kind of slams hard into one of the orbs and into the ice plate directly behind it, and you see a crack, a shatter of that ice, that mote of ice that's sort of floating around with the orbs. And one of the 3 orb lights goes out.
Alright. I'm very happy with myself, but I'm also moving away.
These things are pretty strong.
Yeah.
So, you said the thing on the stairs completely disappeared, right?
Yeah, that sort of icy humanoid form, it like was engulfed by mists as it dissipated away.
So I'll use my movement and my cunning action to dash and not quite get kind of tucked behind this rock.
All right.
That's my turn.
That'll turn it to Eulogy. You're up.
All right. Now, does the current setting qualify as dim light?
No.
Okay. All right. So Eulogy is first going to move just about 10 feet in the northerly direction, but it's not going to be regular moving. He's going to kind of run over while he's still playing real fast, and then he is going to slide on both of his knees, and he's going to lean back real far as he does so, and he is going to yell out a shatter of a scream, targeting this little dude in the air. If I can point at him, this one right here.
Okay.
Hoping that this icy dude is qualifies as inorganic material with disadvantage on a DC 16 Constitution saving throw.
Constitution.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do, but I guess there's. Anyway, all right, there it is.
Let's see. You said it's a DC 16. Well,
Yes.
this thing did not succeed on its saving throw. So
Oh yeah.
I see we've got 18 thunder damage there.
Oh yeah.
All right. So with Eulogy's magical voice shattering the sound waves all around these floating ice crystals and glowing orbs, there's a eruption of thunderous energy that bursts out from right at the center of its being for 18 points of thunder damage. I like it.
Oh yeah. And then Eulogy is going to finish the rest of his movement. Kind of bend around the corner here, secretly afraid of being pursued by this magical shit. And that's the end of his turn.
All right. That is his turn. That'll take it over to that. So that sort of icicle spirit thing that you just tried to shatter. You see that its parts kind of had exploded out in different directions a bit, but they reconglomerate together. And once they sort of return to each other's orbit, you see that they reorient themselves and start just scanning around in all directions before they quickly all turn in Shibello's direction. as they zero in on him. All right, so it's going to float down rapidly in Shibello's direction, and as it does, it's going to do much the same that it did to Anaji here with Shibello, with only a 16 to hit, which I don't think is going to prevail against you there, Shibello, right?
No, I have way higher AC than that.
All right, so but Shibello, what you notice
It's also a disadvantage if it's an attack roll because of my cloak.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter.
Yep. Well, yeah, well, let me see, just in case.
Once it critically fails, and that does bad stuff to it.
Secret tank. Secret tank.
There's nothing secret about it. Let me just see if it gets any worse. Okay, he doesn't. Okay, that's fine. I was looking for a critical failure, but that's all right. So Shibello, as you see these crystals sort of shoot and fly all around you, you realize that as they sort of orbit you briefly, there's these blasts of cold wind that start emanating out from the crystals as their sort of companion icicles coalesce behind them and sort of concentrate, reflecting their cold energy all at once in one direction. But your fortuitous winter clothing and cloak of displacement are enough to abate its effects on you for the time being. All right. It's the owl, and we've got this thing. All right, so Ulfgar and Oliander, you hear the scratching of rubble to your north, and you see emerging up from the cold packed dirt right at the entrance to the cavern. You see slithering out that blackened blue maimed frost salamander claw its way out from the dirt and up into the caves, and it continues in that direction.
Opening, but with carved stairs.
What's that?
Where the salamander just went, it's like a cave opening with stairs that are descending, carved out of the stone.
That's right. So it's like an open cavern mouth, and I think any of you might have noticed this as you were walking up. Right? There's this large open cavern mouth that stands in the mountainside to the north of where you guys are at the Standing Stones. But he would have seen it coming up it's pretty prominent. So.
Well, and Anaji yelled, "I think your friends have the right idea. Let's go to the cave." And Oliander said, "There's stairs this way."
Oh, actually, and he can see it anyway. So, so that's what it's gonna do. So Ulfgar, you watch as it slithers into the cave before you, but that's gonna be your turn now.
Rolling his eyes at his friend's insistence upon opening these glowing orbs that he could have easily run past, Ulfgar is going to move 25
We are running.
feet
Wow. We're not all hasted by me.
to do what he will consider in his mind saving his friend's skin. He is going to, from this point, start hurling his dwarven thrower at the orbs floating in front of the magic building pest. Let's hope there's no burst on this. Yeah, that would be something. Alright. So, first throw with the dwarven thrower at disadvantage.
Give it a toss. Ooh, a natural 1.
Nice.
roll another roll with disadvantage.
Like the same thing.
Yep, just roll it again. Wow.
Whoa!
All right. So go ahead and roll damage.
Anaji dies.
What do you miss?
Well, it could be a reverse psychology measure here.
So your hammer flies, and you're not used to fighting in the snow. At least it's been a while since you trained in snowy mountain combat at Rolgrimdur, and you lose your footing abruptly as your left foot slides in some slushy snow ice, and your hammer flies off target, and sure enough, boom, slams right into Anaji Golden Tusk. Did you just add a superiority now? Oh, okay. Okay, so that's for a total of, I see, 19 points of damage.
And as Ulfgar sort of catching his dwarven thrower against his friend, he'll just sort of look surprised at what he could have sworn was a better throw than that. And look up at his and say sorry as he hurls it again in that same direction.
Alright, let's see. Second
I
time
get
is
another
charm,
one.
right? Oh god.
Ooh,
Okay.
it's close.
I added D4.
You've got Bardic Inspiration, too. You have Bardic Inspiration.
You do also have one.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so with a 21, that's gonna hit. That is gonna
Nice.
hit. Dealing. Okay, I see 11 plus your D8. So 14 points of damage.
Pretty good.
Alright.
And then he will hurl it a third time, feeling much more confident now that he hit its mark.
How do you get 3?
Huh?
How do you get 3?
I'm hasted.
Oh, you're hasted. That's right. Doesn't that give you a whole extra action?
Yes, that's why I'm gonna do a fourth one here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
God, heck, man.
Okay, well, a 15 is not going to hit.
You're molding on.
17 is not going to hit, no. Their AC is 18, just so you know.
Tell me that. It made me feel that much worse.
Or one clarification,
I have a
cause
plus 11, guys. I have a plus 11.
Oh, boy. Roll it again.
This is
Wait, but isn't it just you get an extra attack?
yeah, it's not. It's a one action, but it can be a one single weapon attack only, but not like
double.
2 attacks.
Oh, look at your friends trying to save Anaji. Another punch to the gut.
Pretty much.
Shibello spent his whole life trying to
Yeah.
find other please don't accidentally murder him.
All right, so it is that. So we'll nullify your last attack attempt there, and we'll call that a miss on your third
Ulfgar
attempt.
will catch his hammer as his thrower as he retrieves the third time, and anybody who's within eyeshot of him will know he is physically embarrassed. And what just happened in front of him.
All right. Okay. Anything else on Ulfgar's turn? I think that's his movement
No.
and his attacks.
He's just gonna sort of like put his head, he's gonna be like seeking a little bit closer.
All right. So that'll pass the turn over to Anaji Golden Tusk, who is going to. Let's see. He is going to extend forth his hand and say, "I said, feel the flames of my might." And he extends his hand out in the direction of the ice crystals before him, and he's going to require a dexterity saving throw from these freaking crystals. Which they are going to save again. And he's going to be so upset by this. that he is going to. Let's see. Does he have any? No, he doesn't have any. Okay, never mind. What he is going to do is he's going to then kind of briefly, sort of seeing that his spells are having very little effect on these things as they dart and reposition themselves more rapidly than he can try and sort of channel this divine radiance against them. He is going to step back, and he's going to whisper under his breath an incantation as he pulls a rolled up parchment from his side, and he reads from it a brief supplication. Hyjarth, grant me your strength and protection. And as he does, you see this wave of energy flutter around him, and that will be his turn. All right. Bam. Okay, so that will be his turn. That will take it back to the top of the round with this other ice spirit thing, or the one that's right next to him, actually. All right, and what that one is going to do is, sure enough, he's still the closest creature to it, and I actually need to retrospectively do a quick D10. There's aura, boom, boom. Ouch. Okay. But on its turn, it is going to once again sort of break itself apart and shimmer around Shibello, around Naji, and try to consume his warmth. And with a 13 on its attack roll, you see that he this shimmering sort of protective field around him. The waves of cold seem to wash around him and have little effect on his person. And so
Nice.
it sort of swirls around him a little bit, and it's going to land on this position here. 3. All right, so it's basically going to swirl all around him until it gets back to this part, and that will be its turn. So Shibello, you're up. At the start of your turn, I need a Constitution saving throw.
I'm good at this.
Secret tank.
Yeah. Come on. Come on. Hey, slow this.
Wow.
Okay, all right. So you
Obvious
do not
tank.
take any damage.
Obvious tank.
All right, go ahead and take your turn, Shibello.
Alright, so how close is this thing to me? Is it just like right up on me?
It is right up on you. I should get rid of its elevation because it kind of came down next to you.
Alright. Shibello holding his sickle is going to tap the ground as he says, "Come, my friends, help fight this creatures," as he casts Bruce's favorite spell, Conjure Animals.
Good, yeah. All right.
And he is going to summon 4 creatures. 2 on either side of this one, and then 2 on either side of that one.
4 creatures is CR half. Okay.
Yes.
So you say again where you were hoping to see them appear?
Just on either side, kind of like one on this side, one on that side of that one, and then one on the other spirit.
I can't see when you say this side, that side. I can't see.
I don't know how else to On just either side of each spirit.
Either side of each spirit. Okay, cool. That works. That works. So, let me grab some Fey spirits here for you. Alright. So you're gonna get... Ooh, a bear. Interesting. And this one's gonna be... Oh, a giant wasp. Very interesting.
Polar bear?
No.
That'd be cute.
You're gonna get an 8 over here. And you're gonna get another bear over here. Okay, sweet.
Cool. And then, trusting that he is a secret tank, he's just gonna move here.
Alright, so provoking an opportunity attack as he does so.
Yep. Disadvantage.
With disadvantage, and yep, there we go. And so that's going to be a miss.
Secret
And
tank.
then as a bonus action, he's gonna fire off one of his bolts of starry energy at the one that he just ran away from.
All right.
Rolling. 22.
22 definitely hits. Yep.
Dealing. Boom. 12 points of radiant damage.
12 points of radiant. Love it.
And that'll be the end of his turn.
Okay. So at the end of Shibello's
Oh, and I guess whenever I don't know when you want to roll initiative for my homies.
Oh, I'll roll them right now. Oops. Alright, so they got really low.
Cool.
Alright.
Alright, Oliander will step to the side.
Alright, let's see your attack roll. That is not great.
Can't say boom.
It's funny because when Oliander hits, he hits hard, but then just the one attack per turn is a complication.
The plight of the rogue.
Okay, that'll be the end of his turn. Eulogy, you're up.
All right. Clarifying question about the position of these crystal orb dudes. Are they at all floating such that I have line of sight to attack with a straight attack?
I think
without.
From where
Okay.
you're at, that's going to be difficult because they're not
Okay.
sort of like elevated. But I would let you go for it. They just have a little bit of cover against you.
Nah. I ain't about that.
You're like, no, I can just move.
Yeah.
Movement is an option.
Movement is the choice. Yeah. Alright, so Eulogy is gonna be taking a move action. Gonna move right on up. Chop. As he passes Anaji, he is going to whisper into Anaji's ear, and he's going to say, "Let the joy of Regathiel be upon you." And for a bonus action, is gonna cast Healing Word on him at first level. 5 stop chewing my freaking cord. Sorry. All right. Healing Word casting first level. That come through.
It's, yeah, it's not
All right.
but
Worst possible, but there it is.
that's a success.
My God,
So
it's
he's-
better.
So he's still strumming real fast, and he's moving his feet real short. His like short little steps that are kind of matching the tune because he's into the song he's playing. And then he is going to whip around in the snow, leaving little skid trails behind his feet as he does so. And then he's going to say, "And this is for you, Ice Shard. Worship the flame of Regathiel." And he is going to let one note ring long, pull his wand out, and cast Firebolt at the little crystal nearest him.
All right, let's see it. All right. Yes,
Oh,
24
y'all.
definitely hits.
Ooh, nice. All right, solid.
Okay, 14 fire damage. I like it.
Bam.
All right, so Eulogy, yeah, your firebolt slams into the remaining one of the two remaining motes of light floating around, and it's sort of burned away, and there's only one mote remaining of the three that had originally manifested together.
Coming for you next, buddy.
All right. Anything else on Eulogy's turn?
No.
Okay. So that'll turn it down to the one next to the bears. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Exactly what I just thought.
And this, it really goes for anything that's the warm-blooded near it. And these bears, though they are Fey being manifestations, are still warm-blooded. So, it is going to attempt to consume their warmth. And it's going to target the bear immediately to its left, I guess. And it's going to hit. Definitely hits. Dealing 21 points of cold damage. And so you see these icy crystals sort of, hover around and envelop the Fey bear that Shibello has just summoned. And you see these crystals just sap and hoover up all of the warmth in this bear's form, and it collapses to the ground.
It melted itself?
Before fading away and dissipating, and its sort of fairy-light energy returns to Shibello after it does. And then the crystals turn in the direction of the other bear. All right, and that will be its turn. Ulfgar, you, my friend, are on deck. All right, you're up.
Alright, so, hoping with all of his might not to repeat the same embarrassment as the last time he went, Ulfgar is going to begin closing in on the floating orbs, while simultaneously sheathing his dwarven thrower and reaching for Storm Splitter. And as he goes, as he moves, he will shout out the wake word, Barfoon, causing his axe to begin crackling with electric energy. into a sail as floating orbs. Now with advantage, correct?
Yeah, absolutely with advantage.
Read that and read that out.
All right.
This one's what?
Nice.
Yeah, 27 definitely hits. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Gotta get a pulse, boys. 4, 18 damage.
All right, 18 damage. So with a surge of slashing and lightning damage, Ulfgar swings Storm Splitter, his mighty electric magic imbued axe, at the remaining orb and its adjoining crystals, and he just splits it in half. And as this third mote of light begins to collapse under the weight of the electric lightning suffusing it, Ulfgar, you're the one who sees, because it's just in the moment and you're focusing on it. You see its radiant form collapse in on itself, and then very quickly explode outward in a 30-foot radius.
Oh, I love bombs.
Alright. Great. Good job being... Yep,
All right,
there it is.
So, that is going to require...
That's not my
What type of saving throw?
That is going to require a saving throw, a Constitution saving throw.
Okay,
Oh.
go.
Constitution?
Constitution.
Calm the roostins.
We can use a golden bond on saves, yeah?
Yeah,
I think you
yes,
can.
yes, you can.
Oh, that's wrong. Ignore
C.
that. Ignore that. It's not the right one. Unless it's really good.
Ooh, and now you got
Okay,
a
can I
nat
accept?
20.
It's an 18.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's no. I would want to read it if it was wrong. I'll just accept this one. Oh, even better. Ooh, honor pays off.
Okay, so I think the only thing we still need to save are the Fey creatures.
I don't have confidence for them.
Ooh, the giant wasp actually saves.
All right.
Oh, good job, Giant Wasp.
It did. The ape, however, did not. All right, so that is going to deal damage. And the amount of damage that it deals is 17 points of cold damage, and half as much to anyone who saved, which is going to be Eulogy, Ulfgar, Anaji, so everyone except for the ape saved.
So is that 8 or 9?
It's rounded down, so yeah, that'll be 8.
Bad.
Alright.
I like rounding down when it's better for me.
Alright, so it's dead then?
It is dead. It explodes out, and there's this like wave of frigid energy that explodes outward from its form, and then it dissipates away.
Okay. So, then, with the remainder of his turn, Ulfgar will go ahead and dash in the direction of the other orb. Oh, actually, I can go all so I guess a mechanical question. I technically only took one of my 2 attacks with my full attack. Does that mean I can still take that one on this one?
I believe so, because you're able to make it there because of your haste, right?
Correct. So
Yeah.
I used the dash, one regular movement, and then a full attack. So I can still take the second attack.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that checks out.
Full redemption this turn, boys. Hitting all over the place. That's what I'm talking about. So no damage.
22 is definitely going to hit. Ooh, nice. Not so nice. Altogether, 22 points of damage. All right.
Ooh. And, so Ulfgar will
is going to. He's going to. Let's see, how far away is it? It is about 45 feet away, so he is going to step forward. Bam. He's gonna sort of, shoulder past the ape fey creature that's badly sort of, covered with ice and most of its life force tapped away. And Anaji's gonna step forward. He's gonna try once more to use his sacred flame against this spirit. Alas, the crystals bobbing around just completely evade his his flame radiance that he tries to conjure to damage them, and you see he's sort of like, come on now, come on, just hold still. This is so much easier with my stuff.
He doesn't look cool to Shibello right now.
He like looks over in Shibello's direction. He's like, oh, without my staff, it's just different, It's just different. Right. And then this black bear is going to take its turn. In fact, all of the animal, the Fey summoned creatures are going to take their turn. The ape, I don't think is going to make it all the way down to assist. I guess it can. It's just going to take a dash to do so. And then the bear will get advantage. Aha! As it attacks twice, once with its bite attack, and then the second time with its claw attack. As it lashes out. But these floating glowy orbies are just too much for it to keep up with, and it does not find purchase. And then the giant wasp is going to flutter its way to Shibello's side. And kind of look at him with its insectoid eyes longingly. All right, and that'll take it back to the top of the round. Shibello, your turn.
All right, the fellow's gonna move back a little bit. Keep his distance for when this thing blows up. Yes. Alright, and then he's going to, holding up his sickle, pull it down like he's ringing a bell and tolling the dead. So that's a DC 17 wisdom save for the creature thingy.
Ooh, it critically failed. So your Toll the Dead is going to do critical damage.
Ace.
Alright. I'll roll it again.
Nice. Alright, so I'm seeing a combined 27 points of damage.
Yes.
All right, and as the tolling of the magical tolling sound that reverberates from Shibello, where Shibello stands, seems to align with the vibrations in the molecular structure of these ice crystal spirits, and they just oscillate and shatter apart from themselves before quickly being sucked back in and exploded out once again in a nova of cold energy, requiring, you guessed it, Constitution saving throws from everyone within that circle.
Nice timing, Shibello.
I'm not really sure why Najee got so close.
He's a champion.
See, Shibello moved before he did it. You do have your D4, Ulfgar.
I don't get my D4 because nobody within the line.
Am I not close to you? Oh.
Yeah, you're.
Yep, I did.
You're quite far.
I backed off. I backed away. Never mind.
Yeah, you backed up.
All right. So everyone affected is going to take 19 points of cold damage. So the two face spirits are blown away, and Anaji also takes 19 points of cold damage as this frigid spirit dissipates its energy over the entire area there. All right, and I think it looks like you all have subdued all the active threats. So I'm going to say that we can go ahead and drop out of combat. And so there you all are standing on the doorstep of Arariel Ithriwiel, the brittle maiden, goddess of ice and frost. Maybe a little bit worse for wear from your initial encounter, but triumphant for the time being. So collected there all together. What do you do next?
Bella says, "Everyone, come. I know we gotta keep going, but eat some of my berries. They'll help. I've got plenty."
Ulfgar is going to, with some pep in his step, work his way towards Shibello, and as he does so, crossing paths with Nagi and Dorcas, I'll sort of look over and say, "These damn good berries." And he'll go palms up to collect. And he opens his eyes.
All right, and Anaji actually will also offer up to anyone his own sort of extended hand that he would lay on you and restore hit points as needed. So he starts with the giant wasp, and he heals it, and then heals it again.
He'll give Ulfgar and Eulogy 20 apiece. Is that enough? Too much?
Will be just here. Have one of mine.
How many of yours?
One.
One.
Welcome.
I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm going to go to
I think-
maybe for a little bit more. Healing.
Yeah, and then he'll walk up to Anaji and he'll also hand him 20 good berries.
Ulfgar will be like, "Yo, Nagi, I need some of that magic touch." I'm not like crazy now. Like, I'm mostly okay. I'd like to feel a little bit better doing a couple more of these things.
So Anaji extends his hand, and he places it on Ulfgar's shoulder. And Ulfgar, you feel progressively 9 points of healing come through to you, and then 5 more, and then 4 more.
I'm good, man. I don't think I can feel any better than this.
I'm glad I could help.
Yes, Nagi.
Anaji, how are you doing yourself, Anaji? I know Shibello handed you a chunk of those good berries, but I know you took a licking.
I've been better, that's for sure.
All right, well, I can offer a little bit of support for you. What's your favorite childhood lullaby?
I'm not sure that you know it.
Oh, well, I'd like to try or to learn, I guess, but maybe when we have more time. For now, I hope you can accept this. Eulogy will play not something super fast like he was just a little bit ago, but something a little more melodious, and he'll just cast Healing Word at first level to heal some hit points. Okay, there you go, 6.
All right.
It's a little dose for you.
I think you.
And he took my berries.
Yeah, you gave him 10, was it?
20.
20. Oh, okay.
Also, as we're standing here in a circle, sort of healing up and getting ourselves ready to enter the cave, Ulfgar will look at Naji holding tusk and say, and buddy, while we were in the throes of battle there, I noticed that you struggled to get a couple of those spells out. But I don't want you to be discouraged in going to this cave because 50% of warriors over the age of 40 have this issue from time to time. Struggle in the future, just keep your confidence high, and I'm sure you'll perform better in the next season.
I like your jokes. Yes, no, my spirit remains undaunted, though yes, without my staff, I find myself challenged to effectively channel my spells against those creatures.
Familiar settings or...
So I was going to ask, do you have the means of closing up some or more of those wounds? Looks like almost like you got burned by the how cold those attacks were. If not, I can use Gaza's power to heal you more.
I should like that.
All right. So then Shibello will cast Cure Wounds at what spell did I use earlier? Second one.
So while he's doing that,
first
what
level?
are you doing?
Huh?
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Shibello.
Damn. He can just not get any good healing.
Boy, okay.
Plus an additional D4 from his Moonsicle.
Shibello, I thought you didn't worship Gazra anymore, but you still have the healing powers of Gazra?
I never stopped worshipping Gaza.
You just lost all your mushrooms?
Yes. I was just touched by Desna as well.
Oh.
He's just trying to double dip.
Touched by Desna? What does this mean? Anaji looks over at Shibello with a kind of quizzical look on his face.
We can talk about it at another time. I think now we should press on to finish what we started.
You're probably right, Shibello. Well, yeah, let's go. Oh, I see Oliander. He keeps getting closer and closer to the door. Let's go. Oliander, wait!
All right. So maybe just before you guys continue, just as a reminder, so this exterior at the top of the mountain paths, there are these 8 rough-hewn stone pillars with within this like clearing area, and each of those stones, those standing stones, is adorned with intricate, sort of intertwining patterned carvings with yellow paint embedded in their channels. The carvings rise up each stone until they meet those 2-foot diameter open holes at the top. Those two that had sort of had rifts, cold rifts open in their centers, remains open and billowing cold energy. Then at the center of that circle, you guys, would have had plenty of time to notice while you were sort of gathered together there in their midst. That large stone platform rises about 3 feet from the ground below, with more of those yellow painted carvings rising around the outside of the stone slab and up onto its surface. And yeah, I guess then you've already seen the opening in the cavern mouth, and the opening itself, just for context, has sort of like large gray rocks as well as almost like a door frame of ice crystals that stands up on either side and across its apex, sort of like an awning, or not an awning, what are those called? An arbor in the opening of the cavern.
Well. Does Eulogy recognize what any of the magical yellow symbols mean or are all about?
No.
All right. There's that.
No. No. Eulogy does not.
Eulogy does not.
Shibello.
Shibello.
Does anyone?
Yeah, Shibello, you would have to roll a religion or nature check.
Well, I'm equal in both of them, so we'll just go with one. All you.
Ooh.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, Shibello, you recognize the inscriptions as druidic symbols, and these druidic symbols are sort of, they signify, similar to what you all saw at the Brotherstones yesterday. These symbols signify kind of natural concepts of the natural way of things, right? The shape of warm breath escaping one's lungs, the infinite forms that ice crystals take when they spring into existence, the sound of winds dancing through through the mountainside, and you sort of discern that these standing stones serve as something of a magical conduit to the plane of elemental ice, and you can see suffused in these markings the effect, the stylings of a spell, whose purpose might be to maintain the sort of frigid climate that you all find yourselves in.
Yeah. Bella will say that aloud, that, this seems to be, this writing is maintaining the cold spell. I know it's cold, but it's unnaturally cold here, and this seems to be maybe why.
Oh. That's interesting.
We should move forward with caution. That salamander creature is still out there, and so is Araria. We definitely still heard her voice.
She also seemed confident that anything in this cave would be harder than what we just passed. Agreed, we should be proceeding with caution, with our eyes peeled for any danger.
All right. So with that, you guys. It sounds like you guys approach the entryway there to the caverns. All right. So as you enter, you step into the caverns, and as you do, you see that there are these sort of like light blue colored ice crystals that jut out from the stone walls, and it doesn't take you long to realize, especially as you're descending down the stairs, that the stairs and the rocky walls of the cavern are all coated in a layer of ice. And the staircase leads down from the cavern entrance, and it descends to as you guys keep going, it descends to a low vaulted chamber. It's sort of ceiling rising about 30 feet overhead. And along either side of, as you get further down into the area, there's these like 9-foot high railings of sculpted ice that hug the cavern walls, and everything is this like smooth and gleaming icy sheen over everything. Before you, a dark cavern illuminated only sparingly by these outcroppings of glowing ice crystals. Yes. Yes. Yeah, you don't have dark vision. Are you going to activate it? Okay. So if you right-click on your character, you should have the ability to click on your light. Give it a try.
So the question is, you mentioned floor and stairs with curving layer of ice. Is that making maneuvering or walking around getting more difficult than normal?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's like you guys have stepped into an ice rink, right? It's like a solid coat of ice on there.
Like on the ground too?
On the ground, on the walls, everywhere.
Flat.
So I was gonna say, this seems dangerous, and he's gonna go ahead and mount his broom and rise up 5 feet.
Okay. All right. How high up are you gonna hover there, Shibello and Oleander?
Just 5 feet.
What's that? It's 30 feet, sort of at the center of the cavern before you.
Bum, bum, bum.
15 feet. 15 feet it is. All right.
Is it slanted or flat in here?
So if you were to, Eulogy, if you were to press forward a little bit, you'd see that there is kind of and you guys can sort of see the line here before you. There's that line there, and once you get past that line, it does begin to slope a little bit down and toward the center of the room.
Well, this looks fun and terrifying all at once. Quite literally.
Alright.
Is cave generally dim light?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright. Am I in bright light near this torch or whatever is glowing?
Yep, you are.
Okay. Noted.
All right. So yeah, there you guys are. You can maybe see, individually. I think you can see that the cave before you kind of extends quite a ways. You can see, I think at least some of you can see, maybe a corner with an offshoot to the northwest there. But there might be, it's sort of hard to see throughout the rest of the cavern from where you guys are.
So this opening, right? This initial area one is all just one big opening, right?
Yes, as far as you can, you see sort of this expanse here before you. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's continue proceed with caution.
Ulfgar, what's your dexterity saving throw modifier?
Dexterity saving throw modifier is just 3.
It's a +3. Okay. So Ulfgar, you have a really hard time navigating this ice. You start to try to walk out, and it's like you're like your feet feel like they want to slip out from under you at any time. You don't what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And Eulogy, same question for you. What's your dexterity modifier or dexterity saving throw modifier?
Dex save is +6.
+6. Okay, so Eulogy, maybe is it your elven heritage that gives you that slightly lighter touch on your toes? You're not sure, but you don't feel like you struggle quite as much as Ulfgar. So Ulfgar, you find this particularly difficult terrain to navigate.
Do any of our magical friends have the ability to just randomly launch firebolts at the floor to melt this ice?
Or you cut out a little bit, but
Stairs this way.
I do have fire bolts. Is that what you were asking about?
I guess.
And Bruce, if I go to this crack in the ground and look down,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Oleander, you go to this. So sure enough, there is a crack, a massive opening and gap in the ice, and you look down and you see these some more glowing crystals that sort of grow across some of the gap. But you can see down below another chamber, and you see a glowing coming from that chamber down below. You can see. As you start to investigate, you can see the faint light blue glow of similar ice crystals to what you see up above, but it seems like there might be another chamber down there.
can I tell how far of a drop it would be?
Yeah, your quick estimation is that it's about an 80-foot drop, maybe more.
And if I'm looking at like the edge of the ice, kind of on this crack, do I see the floor that we're
Roll a perception check. A 23. Okay, so you have an opportunity to you see before you springing out of that hole a small creature that almost looks like a goblin, a sort of gaunt goblin, stock white and little rapidly flapping wings on its back, and it gives like a as it crawls rapidly up out of the ice there, headed directly toward you.
Like how close is it?
It's like
Is it like about to pop out?
yeah, you're hovering up above, and it's sort of so you're 15 feet above, and it is clambering its way out of the icy crack there.
So my initial question was going to be, can I tell from the edge of the opening here if the ground that we're on now is just ice, or if there's some stone there too?
It looks like a solid sheet of ice. Yeah.
Alright, I'll shout out to my companions. We got company. I'll pull out my crossbow. I see the one? Do I hear more? See more?
With your 23 perception check, you don't necessarily hear anything else, but it is sort of screeching its way into the area with you guys.
I'll shout out. We got company. There's some stairs to the left. And then I'll just ready to fire a crossbow bolt at it, but I'll give other people a chance to react.
All right.
Can we
Take an action or if we roll initiative?
Go ahead and roll initiative just to handle it. Yeah, that's probably the safest approach.
Initiative.
Nope, it's already
Not my
should already
best
be
initiative.
up. Is it not up? It should be. Should have activated. All right, so Anaji. Yeah, I guess Anaji would not really have a good grasp of what's going on over there because he's kind of far away, but he's sort of meandering his way slowly across the ice. So he's going to take 15 feet of movement in this direction. Oop, and that'll be his turn. Huh? I can't hear you. It didn't register that you rolled initiative.
I don't see the bar at all.
Yeah.
You gotta click on
It was showing up before, but not showing up.
If you just click on that icon on the left, it should pop up. I see that it didn't register your 20 over, so let me just fix that real quick. Update. You got a 20. All right.
So, that being said, Ulfgar will very similarly, not really fully aware of the situation or what's going on, but hearing his friend will also just sort of cautiously meander on the ice he is struggling to walk.
Okay, so Ulfgar, for you, you can either move a quarter your speed without having to roll anything, or you can attempt to move your full half speed because it's difficult terrain, but require a dexterity check to do that. It would be an acrobatics roll. Acrobatics, yeah.
I'd rather take the dex one. I'll get a better one. But I'm just gonna move quarter speed, but I'm gonna move dash quarter speed, so half my speed. I need to move 12 and a half feet. So in that direction.
Okay. Then
That is my entire turn.
that's his entire turn. All right. So then your wasp Shibello technically has the initiative, but has no orders. So Shibello, you see your wasp. It's sort of trailing lightly behind you, and yeah, it's generally unaware of any threat. So, and you are surprised. So I don't think you could really give it a command at this point. And then this creature, it's gonna fly up. It's gonna flap its wings aggressively and fly up to you, Oliander. And it is going to reach out with its claws and try and slash at you. Let's see. With its attack, it's gonna roll a 14 to hit, which is not gonna hit. All right, so it comes up and it gets all tangled up with you mid-flight and it starts trying to claw at you, and it's almost like it's trying to latch on to you and pull you down. All right, and that's going to be its turn. Eulogy, you technically have an opportunity to act, although you're no longer concentrating on a spell because your haste thing finished.
Correct.
So, Ben, you can go to that.
Alright, so is it quarter speed for me as well, or am I delicate enough on my toes?
You can move half speed, but if you want to move any faster than that, it will require a dexterity acrobatics check.
All right. Eulogy
Excuse me, it's
gonna. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I misspoke. It's when you move for the first time on your turn, you need a check if you want to move your full speed.
Gotcha. Okay. I will just move the. No, fuck it. No, Eulogy's gonna go for it. So dexterity saving throw or check or acrobatics. You said.
Acrobatics. That's right.
All right. Trying to move full.
Okay, a 10. All right, you succeed.
Oh, thank God. All right, nice. All right, so Eulogy is going to move the full 30. As he passes by Ulfgar, he is going to say, Ulfgar, what is this glowing thing you have on you? Oh, wait, never mind. Is that just my dark vision? What's the orange light source in the game?
That's coming from Oliander.
Oh. Oliander! Your light is very pretty.
Thank you.
And Eulogy will ready a firebolt for whatever comes up through the crack that Oliander was looking down.
So when you look at Oliander, he has this like, maybe you didn't notice it first, but he has this like pale white winged creature already like embroiled in melee with him.
Well, embroiled in melee, may I attack it with firebolt?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Eulogy is going to say, Reganthio likes that one and not you! And he's going to cast a firebolt at him.
All right, go for it.
19?
Oh, yeah, definitely hits.
Nice. Okay. Pew!
All right. For 9 points of damage, okay.
And that's going to be the Eulogy will take a moment where he lifts the wand up to the tip of it to the top of his forehead, and then he's going to trace it down his face, and as a bonus action, he is going to convert sorcery points into a level 1 spell slot.
Okay.
And that's the end.
All right, so that's the end of his turn. Oliander, that'll take it to you.
Oliander will use a bonus action to disengage. So I kind of take my lantern and kind of like shine it in the thing's face real quick and kind of disorient it while I give myself a chance to slip away.
Boy, does it work.
And I will fly, flutter, baby, fly like an eagle. And fly. As I do, I'll turn around and take that crossbow I had, and I will fire it at the icy methods.
Man, rogues are so good.
But that's all.
Oh, God. Okay. So yeah, your bolt flies wide, and unfortunately, it clatters against the icy wall behind on the other side of the winged creature that you just fired at, and you hear it skidding across the ice.
All right. And then, given the moment of not having a thing falling at my face, I actually see my surroundings and zoom out on the map and notice that I can see the lizard thing that ran away. And I will say, Anaji, watch out that way. And I'll point that ice lizard thing is chilling over there.
What way does he gesture?
To the right.
To the east, yeah.
Not east, to that way.
To that way. All right. I can do it. Boop. All right. So Oliander, your turn.
Yeah.
All right. So Shibello, now that you've been alerted to what's going on, and with the fresh warning that Oliander just gave. Your turn.
Shibello, seeing a little ice creature, is going to hold out, twirl his wrist rapidly, producing a flame in his hand as he hurls it towards the creature.
All right.
Little fireball. 17?
17 hits.
Alright, dealing... Oh, nice. 13 points of fire damage.
Yeah, 13 points of fire damage. Okay, so you your baseball of fire hurls across the chamber in the direction of this flying creature, and it's sort of like as it's recovering from Oliander having like shined this lantern light in its face and sort of regaining its bearing as it's flapping its wings. Shibello, your fire ball kind of slams into its side, and its whole right side kind of melts away, and it explodes in a concussive burst with shards of jagged ice showering around where it burst apart. And
these things need to stop blowing up.
And so it blows up in dramatic fashion. Yes. But fortunately, none of you are close enough that there's any harm done.
Hey, Shibello! I just figured it out! They're vulnerable to fire! Because they're made of ice! And fire melts ice, Shibello!
Oh, is going to just completely ignore Eulogy.
Okay. All right. So maybe with active threats apparently dealt with, we'll once again drop out of the initiative order. All right. Cool. So there you guys find yourselves again in this chamber. What do you do? Eulogy has sort of meandered over near the stairs.
Wait, I guess, and then Oliander said he saw the salamander-y thing, so Shibello's going to kind of fly over near Oliander to look.
Yeah, so Oliander, as you're joined by your Loxodon friend on his broom, who hovers over near you, you guys both look off to the east, and through a narrow kind of pathway that seems to open up immediately into another chamber beyond, you can see off in the distance and the reason you can see this area is because the water itself seems to be giving off a shimmering glow, a radiant glow, and the frost salamander seems to be basking in this water.
Does it
weak.
Notice us?
It doesn't seem to be paying any attention whatsoever to you all. It is basking in the water.
I feel like that water's probably healing it.
What? You see it?
Yeah, did you not hear Oliander? Open up your ears.
No, I did hear him. I don't know. I can't fly over there yet. Alright, I'm ready to follow though. I'll follow your lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's over there.
Edges of my clip.
I mean, it's not doing anything, but I also feel like maybe we should just deal with it now.
Yeah, definitely.
And by we, I mean, let Ulfgar slowly make his way over there.
Deal with it, because we all have range. We can just 1, 2, 3 go.
I mean, is there room on your broom, Shibello?
Not really. Can only hold so much weight.
So as you guys talk, it becomes obvious that the frost salamander hears you all, and it Shibello and at this point Anaji and Oliander, you see it sort of rise its head up out of the water, and sure enough, that whole big chunk of its neck that you had seen burned away is sort of it's not fully restored, but it's clearly kind of mending, and as soon as it sees you guys, it turns and seems to swim off and away.
It's running away! Come on!
Chase it fly boys, chase it!
Ready to go, but I can't fly through the light that well. Ulfgar, can you jump?
I don't imagine jumping would be any better.
How did I unselect myself?
I feel
It'd be
I would
faster.
be shot putting myself into a giant slide that would end up with me hitting a wall.
That sounds fun, though. But all right.
Maybe sounds fun, but also sounds inconvenient for combat.
Eulogy, I'm gonna go fly and check out.
All right, well, follow us then, I guess, as best you can.
When you say over here, you have to describe where you're pointing.
North.
Okay.
I will go check out over here, and that should give Eulogy the opportunity to fly through the shadows.
I can't hear what he's saying.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear them.
You gotta unmute yourself when you're talking. He said that he was gonna fly north.
I
Check
am
out the
flying away. It's still not ready for my business. I don't know. Tell me else.
My game is loading, so I'm not doing anything.
He said he's flying. He said he's flying a little bit to the north to allow for the shadowy, dim light for Eulogy to be able to fly.
Gotcha. Okay. Eulogy would like to do that flying, gripping the broom, so that you can move 80 feet.
All right.
At the same time, Ulfgar will meander here.
So Eulogy, when you touch down, because you I need a dexterity saving throw when you touch down.
Gotcha. Okay. Dexterity saving throw. 16.
16. All right. So you land where you land, and then you slide a further 5 feet in the direction that you were traveling. But your steady legs maintain your balance and keep you standing.
Nice. Cool.
I guess Spell's gonna fly up a little higher on his broom, and I guess just keep moving with his boss following.
Yep.
I went towards like the south.
South. You mean like the right?
Yeah. Like right as far as the direction you're facing.
Okay. Alright, I'm not sure how to proceed with moving right now, I guess. Because I assume it's not like free movement, but it...
No, you guys can freely move.
Oh, okay.
Ulfgar, come on!
I mean, we just
Move as fast as you can.
Time should pass as you should appropriately delay for your slow friends if you want, or you can just keep rocking forward.
Do we want to appropriately delay for our slow friends, or
I mean,
is there?
guys,
I mean, yeah, Shibello will stop here and be like, catch up.
Oh, okay, I will. Oliander, you can come back here. I don't need to use the cloak if we're moving at Ulfgar's speed.
Alright, so Oliander, I need a perception check from you. As you flutter about that northern portion of the cavern. Alright, so you hear, reverberating through the ice caverns, a voice. So it's not a voice like the female voice that you've been hearing so far. It sounds masculine, maybe, but hushed. And it sounds like it's coming from the east of where you are.
Like on our floor or down below?
It doesn't sound like it's coming from the cracks in the cavern floor there. So east was the other direction, but if you were trying to investigate.
Shut up! I know where
So it's as you arrive there that you see a.
We lost Eulogy.
What? No, they're here. Okay, they're still here. So Oliander, you see a sort of shimmering, red-hued wall of energy spring into existence in the middle of a break in the cavern wall. In what direction? No, after the thing emerges, you don't hear the voice anymore. All right. What are the rest of you doing? Just proceeding forward toward that the pool?
Yes.
Yeah, waiting for Ulfgar.
Yeah.
All right, waiting for Ulfgar. All right, so yeah, it takes Ulfgar a minute to catch up, but he does. And yeah, so Shibello, you might have to descend a bit because the ceiling is not as high in this area. Similar for...
How high is it?
At its apex, it's about 15 feet high. So unless you want to be riding the ceiling, you just got to come down a little bit.
Come down to 10 feet.
So, but because all of you are able to see into this chamber with the pool, I'll just describe that quickly. There is a large pool of what's obviously crystal clear water, and like I said, it's shimmering with an iridescent glow. There are silvery strands of light that seem to dance aimlessly below the water's surface, and surprisingly though, it is liquid water.
All right. Move forward as a group.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with, it looks like Shibello and Ulfgar at the front, you all proceed into the chamber.
Ooh.
And as you sort of enter, you see that laying sort of curled up. This time is not a frost salamander curled up like a cat, but a large white cat curled up like a cat. On one of the large stones rising above the pool water, there is a large white fur, thick white coated cat lying supine on the rock there. And as you all enter, it turns its head in your direction, and it says, "So my master has visitors. Come you here for the lady's blessing?"
Yeah, we're trying to find the lady. Where is she?
The lady goes where she wills, but surely enough could be found in her chamber, should she wish you to find her.
And where'd that, frosty salamander thing that I saw in here go?
Artie is swimming in the healing waters.
So he's down there somewhere.
Yeah, so it's around that time that you see sort of like a ripple of water kick up behind that sort of larger stone straight forward in front of your group. You see there's sort of like a ripple of water that kicks up on the other side of that rock. So maybe and then a quick cut. You can sort of hear this discussion start up as you arrive there, Oliander, where you do. And what you see in front of you is, sure enough, a shimmering red, scintillating barrier of magical energy. And beyond it, you see a lightly appointed sort of side chamber just to the north of the large shimmering pool. In that chamber beyond, you see a desk and chair pushed up against the far wall, made of this sort of like, black carved stone, as well as you can maybe just make out some similar stone furniture just to the left-hand side as well. And you can also see on the far right-hand side of this chamber beyond a bed of furs that seems to be sort of piled up in that corner over there, the less lit up corner. And sure enough, in front of you, you see also an elf standing on the other side of this wall of energy, and he is not alone. He stands there facing you with two almost hound-like creatures, quadrupedal creatures that they only loosely resemble hounds in the sense that they have four widely spaced legs. They're each tipped with sharp claws, and they've got these sort of like thick, grotesque bodies covered in hard, coarse-looking, kind of chitinous armor. Yeah. What do you do?
I mean, I'm sitting there kind of looking into the room. Is the elf doing it? Like, have the elf acknowledged that I'm there? He seems to be looking in your direction, and
it's clear that you see sort of when you first arrived in front of this opening, you see a scroll of a rolled up scroll of parchment sort of like dissipating away magically in his hand, and so very quickly he's empty-handed. This elf is he's got sort of ruddy blue hair, and in this tangle of his hair, you see these twiggish antlers springing up from the crown of his head. He's got pale grayish skin, and on his cheeks, his sort of sharp, high cheekbones, you see these faintly radiant tattoos that seem to run down his cheeks, and that hand that was holding the parchment, you see there are similar tattoos on his hands. He's wearing sort of dark brown leather armor. And underneath it, there's sort of a high-collared dark blue tunic. And strapped on his armor, you see several utility cases that seem to be stocked full of crossbow bolts. And although he doesn't have a crossbow in his hands, he's just sort of looking in your direction, wordlessly, and then he just nods in your direction, and starts to inch his way backward.
Are the hound-like creatures looking aggressive towards him, or towards me, or at all?
They don't look aggressive. They like dogs. They're like watching him. You haven't had any footsteps, right? So because you're fluttering on your wings, and that's fairly quiet, so they don't seem to have noticed you.
Does he look concerned, like, for his own safety at all?
He seems to be cautiously regarding you. Yes.
I'm gonna try something.
Okay.
I don't know what this sort of looks like, but I'm gonna try to do like thieves' cant, right? To sort of like sign, like, do you need help? And see if he can pick up.
Okay. So, do you need help as your thieves' cantish message?
Yeah.
Okay. His sort of the cautious look on his face. You see his eyes dart down to your hands as they make these gestures, but then they quickly dart back up to you, and his expression seems unchanged. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just quickly switch back to the rest of the group. So you dim your lantern. Okay. Let me see if I can do that real quick. But the sort of cut back to the rest of the group, just on the south side of the cave there. What do you all do? Or say if you want to continue speaking to this large white cat.
While we're speaking, is it okay if Ulfgar just sort of inches forward into the water to see if his foothold is any better there?
Sure.
Does it feel any better there?
No.
Okay. Cool.
But when you dip your boot into the water, you feel that this water is icy cold to the touch, and like it's almost like it doesn't compute in your brain how this water is water.
Cool.
Come, supplicants. Yes, dwarf, bathe in the lady's light.
Do these rocks seem to be coated in similar ice sheets?
Not as much, no.
Cool.
All right.
See if his footing is any better there.
Yeah, it's easy enough for you to hop over there. So yeah, Ulfgar, you find fast footing, and yeah.
Much better. Much better. Ulfgar's just gonna look at the guy and say, "Is that already behind that rock splishing and splashing?"
Yes, he was rather burned.
Poor guy.
Oh, what is it that brings you and Artie to this cave?
The blessings of Hirilwiel. She
Hell
gave
yeah!
me- She gave me my mind, and Artie his. We find her grace worth protecting.
I see. And what is your name, dear friend?
My name is Yarith Elin Dariash Tobin Valerius.
I see. And what do your friends call you?
Yarith Elin Dariash Tobin Valerius. I insist on it.
Oh, well. Well met, friend. My name's Eulogy, and as we inquired a moment ago, we were hoping for an audience with the wonderful lady who has given so many gifts, and there was actually a particular gift that we were interested in speaking with her about. The chambers of hers you mentioned, where might those be?
She resides in the at the heart of the mountain. Below stairs you will find back the way you came. And this large, thick furred cat stands up on all four of its legs and then gives sort of that prostrating cat stretch forward with its forelimbs and its haunches held up in the air as it sort of repositions and then sits back down.
Thank you. Eulogy turns to the group and says, well, I suppose we could proceed in that direction, and he'll gesture in the same direction as the long name, and he'll say, or we could, I guess, do we think we should stay here and burn a little bit more time?
We can, the lady's not here, and we only seek that which was stolen, so I think we can move along.
Yes, many come seeking the lady's grace these days. I see you have returned, Anaji.
Yes. Yes, I find myself desperate for the lady's good grace.
Well, on the terms that you left her last, I would be surprised if the lady regarded you warmly.
Yes. Yes, I suppose you're right.
Anaji, and Eulogy leans in a little bit. What are these terms you left on?
Arariel and I exchanged ideas, and she found mine not to her liking.
I see. I mean, not really. That was very vague, but I see a little bit more.
Yes, all things in due time, Eulogy.
Alright. Well, yeah, let's
Pick up the lady. No need to tarry here longer than we need to.
Okay, so you are able to hear this whole conversation just off around the corner. So cut back to Oleander.
Saying is happy, you totally didn't pick up on what I was putting down. You said he was an elf, right? Or looked at least elf.
He definitely looks elven, yeah. Though you've not seen an elf quite of his particular likeness before.
I will just come out and say it. And just say, hello, in Elvish.
All right. He responds in Elvish, and he says, "Hello." And he's still sort of inching backwards away from you as he says this.
I will do the things I find to do before while I say, you help.
I find myself rather well protected here where I'm at. And
Okay.
you? Do you need help, little one?
Oh, I mean, I'm seeking the lady, I guess. But I stumbled upon you first. And with this weird wall in the way, I wasn't sure if it was a prisoner situation or what. And then with these innocent looking things, I just want to make sure you're okay.
No, these are my hounds, and this wall is of my making. Perhaps you can understand the caution one must take in the lair and sanctum of a being such as Etraine.
Sure. I get it. No offense taken. My name's Oliander. What's your name?
My name is Solara.
Cool.
Solara Peligminden.
That's a mouthful. I've seen elves before, but none that look quite like you.
Yes, I'm not like other elves you might have met. But you said your business was with the lady. Why don't you go see about it?
That's what I'm trying to do. Like I said, just don't know where to find her. Do you serve the lady?
Do I serve her? Not quite, though she would like that to be the case. No, I'm her guest.
I am curious. I know a lot of Fey beings that live in the forest a while, but like I said, I've never seen an elf quite like you. Where do you come from?
I come from far away. But you said that you are from this forest.
Yeah, I was for a while, just north of actually the Isle, not too far. But when I was young, the humans did some stuff, kind of took over my home, and I was forcibly relocated, if you will, to Casimir. But now I'm back.
So as you explain this, even as sort of a cursory tale as you give him, his demeanor relaxes very much, and he gets this almost like intrigued look on his face, and he steps forward and in your direction, basically like walks up to the barrier, and he says, so you've been at the forefront of these kerfuffles between the humans and the Fae?
You could say that. More like voluntold to get involved, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes. We all find ourselves in the crosshairs of destiny, it seems, whether we like it or not.
I'm assuming as a citizen of not human blood that you're probably not too fond of Talbans. Seems to be the general consensus around here.
I suppose you could say as much, yes. So as this conversation begins to unfold, the rest of you are able to hear the mutterings in Elvish just around the corner.
Woohoo! I speak Elvish.
You said you do speak Elvish, Eulogy?
I do indeed.
Okay. Well, to me, they just sound like letters. I don't speak that fluently.
Can we do things, or we just hear the mutterings?
You guys have free ability to maybe make your way over in that direction, or do
Eulogy.
whatever you
Yeah, Michelle was gonna say, we shall take our leave and start moving, flying back.
Yes. Enjoy the lady's embrace. Take a swig of her waters before you go. May it heal and nourish you.
I'm feeling alright, but maybe on the way back.
Very well.
Enjoy the waters.
Alright.
Thank you, Landish of the Eisen Hemda Falls.
His name was Yareth Elendarius Tobin Valerius.
I said what I said.
Yeah.
So where do the mutterings come from?
They came from like the northeast of where you guys were posted up in the entryway to the water chamber. So it sounded like it was coming just around the corner from where you guys were.
Alright.
So yeah, after just a little bit, your friends and the buzzing wasp as well come around that corner to where you are, Oliander. So embroiled in the conversation, tell me more about what these humans did to you in captivity.
Well, it was some nasty business. They forced me to dress up in their strange idea of fancy clothes and made me perform music, tell tales, chit-chat with the nobility, if you will, of Casimir. But they also, you'll gesture to what's probably still visibly marks from the collar, they completely restrained my wings and my magical abilities, and I was basically made to be a puppet for Taldan nobility.
Little one, you must spread your tale. It is only right that the good people of the forest hear what injustices have been done to you.
Oh, trust me, already started. We were actually at the Wildwood Lodge just earlier before coming here, and I actually ran into, I don't know if you know Bast, but he is sort of the leader of my former home, and so I got to reunite with what's left over, as little as it may be. I spoke to, I don't know if you know Rebecca, but Bast and I were trying to convince her to sort of change the mind of the Wildwood Lodge, as stubborn as they can be.
Yes. And so it's about this time that it seems like Eulogy and Ulfgar come sort of, cautiously meandering on the icy floor over towards this discussion that Oleander's having. And so Eulogy, for much of this conversation, you've been able to at least faintly hear it in the distance, if not, sort of as you were approaching some of the more recent comments. So you are mostly read into the discussion already. Ulfgar, you just hear a bunch of elves talking to elf.
Yes, this is
Shibello, much the same.
This is my friend Eulogy, and that over there, not sure if you can quite see it, is my friend Ulfgar. Believe it or not, they actually freed me from captivity in Casimir.
This one freed you? And he points to the dwarf.
Oh, yeah, he helped out. I mean, he wasn't personally the one who undid the magic on my restraints. That goes to our Loxodon fellow who's just over there. But he helped me get all the way back here and back to the Isle, so a friend to me.
Yes, well, I suppose when we find ourselves in captivity, there are limited options. Well, it seems you've quite a band with you, and I can only imagine what the nature of your visit with the Lady of the Ice might be. But armed to the teeth as you are, and the sounds of bursting minions to boot, I can only venture a guess as to it being unfortuitous for the lady.
We tried to negotiate with her, for being honest, back outside, but she didn't want to help us out. I'm assuming you've heard of Naji. Great fellow, I think. He's done a lot of good for me and my own. He seemed to have a sort of conflict with the lady, and she took his staff, and we simply were trying to retreat it back, and she decided to make us, put us through the ringer, if you will.
Ah, so you've come with a Naji, have you? Back, he's come with reinforcements. Good for him. The brittle maiden was none too complimentary about your friend, and I can't imagine that she will harbor his presence here for very much longer.
Yeah, we're trying to get some people to help us out, like I said, with this whole Casimir situation, and Naji said he would help us if we helped him get his staff back, so it seems fair enough deal for us.
Yes. Yes, a fair deal indeed. Yes, well, it seems that my business with the Lady Etraine might be coming to a close then. And I will bid you adieu.
Can I insight check this boy to see if his business being coming to an end seems like something he is either happy about or maybe frustrated with?
Sure, yeah. All right, with a 19, that's quite good. So he seems like there's like a twinge of annoyance in his like comment there.
And you can let me know if I need to re-roll a different one for this, but I also want to kind of see, like, when I mentioned Naji, like, does he seem like he doesn't really like Naji, or if he's kind of indifferent?
He sort of got this surprised look on his face when you mentioned Naji, and yeah, his comment was essentially like, well, if you're here with him, then you must not be here on good terms, right?
Well, it was nice to meet you. I enjoyed meeting new people. If you're ever around the lodge, or if we run into each other again, I hope it is on good terms. You seem quite interesting.
Tell your friends to spread your tale as well.
All right.
You should make it clear to all who have ears to listen that there is nothing worse to have happened, and that they should stomach these injustices no longer.
Just started cutting in rudely. Ulfgar's gonna be like, "What are you guys saying?" In comic.
Yeah, Shibello's gonna be like, we know where the ladies' chambers are. We should probably get moving.
Yes, of course. We're just about done here anyway. And I'll kind of gesture for them to shoo off a little bit.
For your friends to shoo off?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, while they do that, I don't know if they comply, but while they do that, or don't, Solara, as he introduced himself, seems to turn back, is sort of full back to you and strides back towards the desk.
In his little area where he's at,
Yeah.
does it seem to be icy like it is here?
Yeah.
Okay, so as he walks, does he seem to be struggling with me?
Oh, not at all. No, not at all.
Ulfgar would be like, "Hey, do you have foot magic?"
He doesn't respond at all. Like it's as though he didn't hear you say anything.
Eulogy will say, Ulfgar, come on.
I'm just trying to see if he can give me some foot magic.
And so he reaches into an open compartment in the desk, grabs a scroll. You see him unfurl the scroll, and he speaks the words as he holds the scroll aloft, and you see appear opposite him in the chamber, sort of a little bit to the east of where he's standing. There's this twinkling of light that quickly expands into an oval-shaped rift in the air, suspended there in the air, an open portal.
Wait. Are
Yes.
you part of a different druidic circle? I'm not gonna lie. Having friends who hate the Taldans is gonna be very useful for me in the future. How do I reach you again if our interests so align?
Are you saying that in Elmer comic?
Little friend, no, I'm sure you don't know where I'm from. As I said, it's quite far away. And should you survive this meeting, as you say, with the lady, I doubt we will meet again.
Ulfgar will be like, "Hey, can you ask him if he can give me foot magic?"
Now that he's facing us and seeing Ulfgar, does it look like he can actually hear him and is just ignoring him, or is it actually like there's something missing?
You see his eyes like dart down to Ulfgar as Ulfgar speaks, but he registers nothing.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Did you ask him?
Your name, little one, before I depart.
Oliander Nyx.
Oliander Nyx. May your name ring through the trees of the verdurant forest for 1,000 years, Oliander.
Ulfgar's gonna shrug his shoulders and be like, "I guess he can't give me foot magic."
Ulfgar, there's foot magic over here, over this way. I found some.
And he begins to stride towards the open portal. Now, did you have something you wanted to...
Well, I was just gonna say, am I at an angle where I would be able to kind of try to glimpse into the portal to see if I can see anything on the other side?
Oh yeah.
Roll for it.
Yeah. Let's see how much you discern.
Ulfgar will start clumsily walking away on the ice.
17's pretty good. Okay. So Oliander, through the portal, you see a stone platform. That stone is sort of a deep, sort of dark gray, and on that other side you see sort of faint greenish lights being cast upon the stone. There's a railing, as though this opens up onto a balcony somewhere, and your line of sight, you can see beyond that balcony, that stone construction balcony with the green lights. There's a cityscape that extends off in the distance, right? And so it's obvious that this balcony is in the midst of a great city. And that great city, you see, is has a gentle snowfall trickling down from an otherwise uniformly gray sky. And off in the distance, you see a massive dark, it's almost like dark granite with white marbling in its facade. This massive building with a domed top and a spire rising from its center. I'm trying to think if you see anything else. Nope, that's sort of everything you'd see.
And would I recognize this sort of large structure, like as anything, history or religious wise or anything like that?
You know, I'll give you a roll a history check. What'd you get? An 18. Okay. So you see a city that when you pick out this spired building, you're sort of, you know, your brain searches rapidly for what it might be, and the only thing that comes to mind, given what you're seeing, is the name of a place from the Fae sort of children's stories that you remember people telling around the campfire. Tales of a mystical elven homeworld. One of many, in fact. The Fae stories talk about how the elves have settled many worlds. And this one, sort of sheathed in ice and with its black stone facade buildings, is reminiscent of a realm that you heard about as a child called Tirnalia. It's supposed to be the realm of powerful elf lords.
Well, that's one of the weirder days I've had. Let's go kill this bitch.
But so Solara steps through the portal and disappears, and sort of following, nipping at his heels just behind, are the two hounds that follow him as well. All right. And it's actually not long after he leaves that red barrier wall just disappears. Okay. All right. Does anybody want to enter the room with Oliander?
That red berry pops up, I could.
If that red berry pops up. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you enter the room, and like I said, there's that sort of black stone carved desk and chair. There's a shelf on the backside, some vases over the corner.
I saw him go to that desk and pull out a super badass scroll, checking the drawers of that desk.
Yeah. So you check there aren't so much drawers because it's like a stone slab desk, but they're like open cubbies to the side, and sure enough, there are parchments and papers to be found.
Scoop as much as I can.
All right.
And start taking everything.
Yeah, so you find one scroll with obvious arcane writings on it that unfortunately you don't have the training to decipher.
I can help Oliander.
Eulogy, take a look at this one.
I will begin to ritual cast Identify.
Okay, so yeah, over
As
10
you begin doing that, Spell was like, I don't think we should take that long to do that. We should keep moving.
Oh, all right.
Maybe just
here, Oliander, hold
grab
on.
it and we could go.
There's no foot magic yet, Ulfgar, but it is top of the priority list.
Okay, so Eulogy, if you go ahead and ritual cast Identify on the scroll, it takes about 10 minutes, and
I do not.
Oh, you do not. Okay.
No, at Shibello's suggestion.
Okay, so got it. I'll just bump back 10 minutes. There we go.
But now I know that it is something because you have a description.
Sure.
Work the system.
Work the system. Hashtag.
He already told you to scroll.
Yeah. So aside from the scroll, Oliander, you also find a set of what are clearly letters, right? A set of correspondence written in obviously Elven script. However, the words and language as written are only barely intelligible to you as a native Elven speaker. Give me an intelligence check.
Help with this
just a straight
endeavor.
Intelligence check.
Could I help?
You may help, yeah. As another Elven speaker, Eulogy would be plenty capable of helping. So to give
Eulogy helps.
21.
21.
Ooh, nice.
That's
Okay.
right. You didn't know my dad spoke ancient Elvish?
All right. So you as you attempt to read this, like I said, it's like these are similar characters and like obviously Elven script, but there are like certain letters that are unfamiliar to you, and they're, you know, the sounds that some of these words are supposed to make are a little confusing. The syntax is different from what you the spoken Elvish that you know, but with Eulogy's assistance, quickly you all are able to sort of like, you know, both of you hovering over the parchment, you're able to pick out at first just a few sparse words like harvesting, none to find them, the white winds of fate, and gates. But with a little bit, but with a little bit of sort of poking around and squinting of eyes, you find that these letters are generally about sort of preparations being made. It's a little bit odd, but preparations to be made to ride through the dark over frontier fires and collect new spirits to join the hunt.
The Witcher 3.
That's about. I mean, that's a lot. So.
I meant anything else.
Oh, you also find a potion. A potion that you, haven't seen before. That you wouldn't recognize.
All right. Scoop. Sorry for the delay. Let's get out of here. Let's bounce.
All right, on the way out, Eulogy is going to take the void glass falchion that he has been lugging around fucking forever, and he's gonna try to stab it into the ice so that it sticks up noticeably in the middle.
Okay.
and then he will leave.
All right. Okay. Very good. So I think then you guys are planning on sort of, heading back across the chamber.
There's another pathway to the northwest. I don't know if y'all want to check that out before I'm going down a level, but it's up to y'all.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to peek, although I to some degree I worry about too long of a delay. I guess Shibello might be right about that.
So as you speak and voice this concern, you hear the telepathic, cold voice of Aurariel in your minds, and she says, "No rush. Take your time."
Sorry, your guess,
No.
It's also 11:06, so
Yeah. Do we want to go ahead and pause here?
Yes.
Or at least sort of walk forward to the next point of where you guys want to go.
Just make our way back across and start heading down. And pause it like a thing happens or something.
Say again?
I was like, yeah, I mean, like maybe if we just like start moving across to like a back down to where I think we said we were gonna go to the chamber, and
Well, the alternative is Oliander proposing a northern path of some kind.
Yeah, so there's two paths.
Oh.
There's a north path and a south. So a northwest path and a southwest path, yeah.
So maybe we just decide which one we want to go to and then stop at that mouth.
That works for me.
sure.
I'm indifferent to the path we take. Well, perhaps we should get to the mouth of the north entrance just to see if, like, keep going or maybe just like dead end. Is that good?
I can't really hear that.
He said maybe we should go to the mouth of the north entrance and see if it's a dead end or not first.
Boom! North mouth it is.
All right.
Whoop, whoop,
Flying over.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
You all sound like news.
This is fantastic.
We gotta stop. That looks like a little dragon. We gotta stop.
All right. So sure enough, you guys round the corner, and Oliander at the forefront next to his friend Ulfgar. You hear, as you're approaching, you hear a and you see the hulking, not hulking, a large form of a reptilian winged creature, coated in pearlescent white scales. And as you guys step into the hallway there, you see it twist its head up from where it had been munching on a corpse of some sort of animal you can't quite see, but with red blood dripping down its maw. Its long neck wheels its black eyes in your direction, and its eyes seem to focus in on you.
Pause and quick look and the last two.
All right, and that's where we will come back next week. All right.
This is why we should never listen to Oleander.
Hey, that sounds cool up there. Pause and quick look at where the south mountain is. Yeah.
There's 2 white dragons. There's now 3. All right.
Bye.